Hello children, welcome to another online session. In the previous session in polynomials, you had learned the basic definitions of polynomials and types based on degree and number of terms. And we also learned zero of the polynomial. In this session, we will learn division, that is to get the remainders when two polynomials are divided. So we know that how to, in primary classes we have learned how to divide a number from another number. For example, 34 is divided by 4. How do we do this? By subsequent subtraction, right? So 4 8s are 32 and 4 minus 2. So we are subtracting here. 4 minus 2 is 2, right? So what do we call this 2 as? Can we further divide? We have to go in for decimal. So if you are not going for a decimal point, then we have to end the division in this. So what do we call this 2 as? Remainder. And what do we call 8 as? Quotient. And 34 is called as dividend. 4 is called as divisor. Right? By subsequent subtraction, we get the values of remainder and quotient. That is, how can you get back this dividend? So we all know this, right? Division algorithm. What is division algorithm? How do we get back the value? We know how to divide. How do we get back the value of dividend? So 34 can be, how do we get it? 34 is got by 4 into 8, 32 plus 2. Right? We all know this, but we don't call that as a division algorithm, but we know how to get the values. Now we will write the algorithm, how to get the dividend. Dividend is equal to divisor into quotient plus, so this let it be within the brackets, plus what do? We add the remainder. So this is very simple and this is called as division algorithm. Okay. So now we will see how to divide two polynomials. This is numericals without variables. We know how to divide. Very similar way, subsequent subtraction we will do to get the remainder when two polynomials are divided. So can you just see the question there? Find the remainder by long division method. That is, divide p of x by g of x where p of x is equal to. So p of x becomes a dividend here and g of x is divisor. So we will write the divisor here, x minus 1, and then 3x to the power of 4 minus 4x cube minus 3x minus 1 minus 3x minus 1. Okay, how do we divide? Let's see. Okay, this is also a polynomial of degree 1. Can you see this? X to the power of 1, so it is a linear polynomial. So this polynomial, when it is divided by a linear polynomial, this polynomial when we say, because it is having a degree greater than 1, right, and it has more than one term, so we call it as a polynomial and the degrees are whole number, not a negative or fraction. What happens when a polynomial is divided by a linear polynomial? We take each term, just like our division, we take each term here and subtract. So how do we get 3x to the power of 4? Take the first term x and the first term here from the dividend. So 3x to the power of 4, how can you get? If you multiply x with x cube, take x, just check only the variable part with the first term of the dividend. So the first term of the dividend is 3x to the power of 4. Before we write the polynomial, sometimes 4x cube could be written in the last term. So arrange in such a way that the degrees is in a descending order. Okay, here it is already presented in a decreasing order. So I will just take it that way. Dividend. So take the first term 3x to the power of 4 and divide with the first term. How do we divide? X into x cube gives you the first term, that is x to the power of 4. But there is a constant attached to x to the power of 4. So we need to multiply 3 also to get the first term. So with what will you multiply the first term of the divisor to get the first term of the dividend? Here it is x. How can you get 3x to the power of 4? If you multiply with 3x to the power of 3, you will get 3x to the power of 4. X into 3x cube will give you 3x to the power of 4. So in a similar way, but we are also left with minus 1. So you should multiply. So we will not worry about the constant part. We will only check the variable part. Okay, so but you will, whatever is remaining, you will just write it that. Minus 1 into 3x cube gives you minus 3x cube. So I'll repeat. So take the first term, this is a linear polynomial. Take the variable part and the first term of the dividend. Okay, with what will you multiply the first term to get the first term of the polynomial? Okay, x into what to get 3x to the power of 4? X into 3x cube will give you 3x to the power of 4. And now, just like our division, we will subtract. How do we subtract the polynomials? We will change the signs. Here it was plus, I've changed it to minus. Here it is minus, I've changed it to plus. We have learned this, right? How do we subtract algebraic expressions in 8th class? So similar way, plus is changed to minus, minus is changed to plus. So here plus 3x to the power of 4 and minus 3x to the power of 4 gets cancelled. And minus 4x cube and plus 3x cube. So what happens? X cube. What happens to the coefficients? Minus 4 and plus 3 gives you minus 1. And then take the next term, minus 3x, only the next term, okay? And then do the same process, that is with what will you multiply x to get x cube, but here it is also minus, so we need to consider that minus also. What will you multiply with x to get minus x cube? So it should be minus x square. Minus x square into x will give you minus x cube, and we are left with this constant part, minus 1 into minus x square gives you plus, what is it? X square. X square. Here x square term is not there. So we will consider x square term as 0. First we will see here. Change the signs. And this gets cancelled. Here minus 3x and minus x square. We cannot just look at are they like terms? They are not like terms. So write minus x square and minus 3x. You'll have to retain it the same way because they are unlike terms. Okay, and then same process continues. With what will you multiply x to get minus x square? It is minus x. So it is minus x into minus x is minus x square. X into minus 1 into minus x plus x. Change the signs. This gets cancelled. Minus 3x and minus x. They are like terms. So it becomes minus 4x. Right? And then we have minus 1. The last term is left. Take that. So here again the process continues. With what will you multiply to get minus 4x? If you just take minus 4, we will get minus 4x. Minus 4 into x gives you minus 4x, and minus 4 into minus 1 gives you plus 4. Minus into minus plus 1 into 4 is 4. Now change the signs. That is, minus will become plus. Here plus will become minus. This gets cancelled because minus 4x and plus 4x. Here you are left with minus 1 minus 4, which is nothing but minus 5. So what do we call this minus 5 as? The remainder. So this is the remainder. We have got the value of remainder, and this is the quotient. So how can we get back this dividend? If you multiply x minus 1 into the quotient plus remainder, you will get back this dividend. You can verify that. So So shall we verify this now using a division algorithm? So what is the quotient here? 3x cube minus x square minus x minus 4 into, so quotient into divisor, that is x minus 1. So we'll have to multiply these two polynomials and then we need to add the remainder, that is minus 5. When you add this, it has minus, right? So minus 5. So you should get back this dividend. Let's see whether we will get it back. So take each term and multiply. You know how to multiply two algebraic expressions. Here it is polynomial. X into 3x cube is 3x to the power of 4 minus x square into x is x cube, and then minus x square, then minus 4 into x minus 4x. Then take minus 1 and multiply the entire terms. Then minus 3x cube minus 1 into minus plus x square. Then minus 1 into minus x is plus x. Minus 1 into minus 4 is plus 4 with minus 5. So this will give you 3x to the power of 4. And then x cube, how many are there? Minus 4x cube. And then minus 4x plus x. We'll have to group the terms, right? Like terms, minus 4x and plus minus 3x. And you are left with minus x square and plus x square gets cancelled. And you are left with plus 4 and minus 5 is minus 1. So did we not get back our dividend here? Right? So this is how we can apply the division algorithm to verify our long division. This is called as long division method. Okay, now we know that we can do the division in polynomials in two methods. One we have seen, it is long division method. The other method is remainder theorem. So before we understand what is remainder theorem, we need to know this. Polynomial is represented by p of x, and this is a polynomial in variable x. So we represent that by p of x. And what is g of x? It is, this polynomial is divided by a linear polynomial. It's a linear polynomial, x minus 1, because the degree is 1. So now we will go to the statement of remainder theorem, which says let p of x be any polynomial of degree greater than, let p of x be any polynomial of degree greater than or equal to 1. So here, for example, with example if we will learn this theorem. So p of x is the degree is what? It is greater than 1. It can be equal to 1 or greater than 1. So we have it greater than 1 or equal to 1, and let a be any real number. A be any real number if real numbers are negative numbers or integers, right? All the integers are included in real numbers. If p of x is divided by the linear polynomial x minus a, then the remainder is p of a. That is, this is p of x and this is the divisor. Let it be divided by any linear polynomial. This is a linear polynomial and a is here the constant and it is any real number. Here it is minus 1. So a is here 1. That is, if it is represented by x minus a, then it is 1 only, right? When we compare this x minus a to x minus 1, so a is 1, okay? And if it is x plus 1, in place of x minus 1, we had x plus 1, then we compare that to x minus a according to the theorem, and we say a is what? Here minus and plus, therefore a will be minus 1, okay? So we will go back to the statement. Here it is divided by a linear polynomial and let a be any real number. Here 1 it is. A value is 1. Then what happens? If you substitute this 1 in p of x, we will get the remainder. That is, how do we get the value of any polynomial? We have seen that we have given values to x1, 2, minus 1. What is the value of p of 1, p of minus 1? Like that, if you substitute p of 1 here, it is 1, then that will give you the remainder value itself. In general, this is represented, the divisor will be represented as x minus a by the theorem, remainder theorem. Then p of a will give you the value of remainder. This is what is a remainder statement says. So we will apply this to the previous example which we did it in long division method, and we have got the remainder value as what? -5. So we will apply remainder theorem to the same problem and check whether the remainder is -5. Now this is a divisor, right? X minus 1. This polynomial is divided by g of x. So 3x, this is long division method. By remainder theorem, by long division method we have got the remainder as -5. Now we will apply by remainder theorem. The first step what you should do is we compare the g of x minus a to x minus 1, right? X minus 1. Therefore, the value of a will be 1. Now we need to find the value of p of a, that is nothing but p of 1. So we will substitute in place of x 1. This gives you 3 into 1 minus, because 1 to the power of 4, and then 1 to the power of 4, I'll write it, 1 to the power of 3 minus 3 into 1 minus 1. Okay, this will give you 3 minus 4 minus 3 minus 1. This will give you -5. So we have got the remainder value as -5. Even by long division method, we had got remainder as -5. This is by long division method and this is by remainder theorem. So this is in just 2 steps you get the remainder value. Here's another problem. The p of x is given as, the polynomial is given as x cube plus 3x square plus 3x plus 1. It is divided by, for the first one, by x plus 1 and the second one x plus pi. Here you need to divide this polynomial using both the methods, long division method as well as remainder theorem. So here I'll show you remainder theorem. You can verify with long division method also. So here, what is p of x? P of x is equal to x cube plus 3x square plus 3x plus 1 is divided by, we will take the first one, g of x is x plus 1. And what is the first step? X plus 1 should be compared to x minus a. X minus a. Therefore, value of a will be -1. Right? X minus, this is nothing but x minus a. Then what is the value of a? It is -1. Now we will substitute a minus 1 in p of x. So therefore p of a will be p of -1, that is nothing but -1 the whole cube plus 3 into, substitute here in this polynomial, in place of x we will substitute -1. So -1 the whole square plus 3 into -1 plus 1. -1 cube will be -1 plus -1 square will become 1. 3 plus -1 into 3 becomes -3 plus 1 plus 3 and -3 and -1 and plus 1, 0. Therefore, P of A will give you, as per remainder theorem, P of A will give you the remainder value. P of A is equal to 0 means this is nothing but remainder. 0 is a remainder for this polynomial when it is divided by x plus 1. Now we will see what is the value of remainder when this polynomial is divided by x plus pi. Similarly, this is p of x value, x cube plus 3x square plus 3x. I want you to write this step. Though it is there in the question, you need to write it as p of x is equal to, and then for x plus pi, what do we take? X minus a is x plus pi. So what is the value of a? It is minus pi. Okay, we will substitute this value. P of a is nothing but P of minus pi. So substitute minus pi in place of x. So minus pi the whole cube, then plus 3 into, here it is x square, it is minus pi the whole square, plus 3 into minus pi, then plus 1. Minus pi cube, the whole cube is minus pi cube. Then minus pi square will give you pi square, plus 3 pi square. Then plus into minus minus, 3 pi, 3 into pi, 3 pi, plus 1. So are there any like terms in this so that we can add? Pi is a value, it's a constant, right? 22 by 7, but we will not simplify this pi. We will keep this as pi itself. We will not take this value as 22 by 7 because they have not asked us for us to do that way. So we will leave it at this because we don't know the value of pi, exact value. Therefore, let the answer be minus pi cube plus 3 pi square minus 3 pi plus 1. If you want to simplify further using 22 by 7, you can still do it. In the previous example, we have seen that the remainder was 0, right? So with that, we have another theorem called as factor theorem. Based on if the remainder is 0, what do we conclude? You can see that here, if p of x is a polynomial of degree, n is greater than or equal to 1. So the degree should be greater than or equal to 1, just like remainder theorem. And then what is the condition? A is any real number. X minus a is a factor of p of x if p of a is equal to 0, or p of a is equal to 0 if x minus a is a factor. This is very simple. Just consider two examples. 34 when it is divided by 4. What was the remainder? 4, 8, 32. 2 was the remainder. If this 4 is divided by, if 32 is divided by 4, what is the remainder? 0. In this case it is 2. So we can say that 4 is not a factor of 34 because there is a remainder. Here, since the remainder is 0, we can easily say that 4 is a factor of 32. Correct? 4 is also a factor of 16. Right? Here also, what is it? The remainder is 0. Right? Similarly, when the polynomials are divided, we have seen that in the previous example, when the polynomial was divided, we got the remainder as 0. Right? If that is the case, then the divisor x, the divisor which was a linear polynomial, is a factor of the dividend polynomial. Okay. So here with the example, you can understand the statement better. Check x plus 2 is a factor of, this is a polynomial and this is a dividend here, using factor theorem. So as per the factor theorem, what we have to do is x plus 2 is what? X minus a, right? And a is here minus 2. Okay, this polynomial is divided by x plus 2, and what does it say? P of a will be 0. If, see, x minus a, that is x plus 2, is a factor of this polynomial if p of a is 0. That is, p of a is nothing but p of minus 2. What is p of minus 2? That is, we are going to substitute minus 2 in this polynomial and get the value. So what is it going to be? We will see. That is minus 2 the whole cube plus 3 into minus 2 the whole square plus 5 into minus 2 plus 6. This will give you minus 8 plus 3 into 4 plus 5. 5 into minus 2 is minus 10 plus 6. This is nothing but minus 8 plus 12, minus 10 and plus 6 is minus 4, which will give you minus 8 minus 4 is minus 12 plus 12. This is nothing but 0. So now you have understood what is it? P of a is now 0. That is, x plus 2 is a factor of this polynomial. This is what the statement says. That is, there are two conditions. Same thing. The second one is a converse of the first one. So you just take this as an example always. Any number 4, 8, 32 is 0. If the remainder is 0, 4 is a factor of 32. If 4 is a factor of 32, then the remainder is 0. This is what the factor theorem is all about. This is with the numericals and this is with the polynomial. Exactly the same logic we apply here. So simple it is. That is x minus k is a factor of p of x if p of a is equal to 0. So here what does the question say? Check x plus 2 is a factor of this polynomial using factor theorem. So what do we do here? First we get the value of a. A is minus 2 because x plus 2 is a factor. Right? What is it? X minus a is a factor. Then we should find out the value of p of a. X plus 2 is a factor. So get the value of a and substitute, because we need to get the value of p of a. So substitute that minus 2 in the polynomial, that is p of minus 2, and what do we get? We get this value 0. Once it is 0, as per factor theorem, x plus 2 is a factor of this polynomial. Here they have asked check. So once, since, you should write the reason, since p of a is equal to p of minus 2 is equal to 0, by factor theorem we can conclude, by factor theorem x plus 2 is what? Factor. X plus 2 is a factor. Is a factor of p of x, that is x cube plus 3x square plus 5x plus 6. Now we will see another problem. Check x plus 2 is a factor of this polynomial. Same x plus 2 we had seen in the previous problem, but the polynomial was different. Now to check x plus 2 is a factor, what do we do? First get the value of a. In x plus 2, what is the value of a? X plus 2 gives you the value as minus 2. A is minus 2. Now get the value of p of a, that is p of minus 2. So we will write it here. That is minus 2 the whole cube minus, always have an habit of writing p of x is equal to x cube minus x square minus 2 plus root 2x plus root 2. Okay. So now p of minus 2 will be minus 2 the whole cube minus, be careful with the negative sign. X square again here is minus 2 the whole square. This minus is in the polynomial. And this is the value of a, minus 2. Then minus 2 plus root 2 into a is what? Minus 2 plus root 2. This will give you minus 2 the whole cube is minus 8. And then minus 2 square is 4. And then since minus is there, minus 4. And then minus of, here it is minus 2. Okay. So minus 2 into minus, it is plus 2 into 2, 4. And then minus into minus plus, minus into minus plus. Then 2 into root 2 is nothing but 2 root 2. And then we have plus root 2. Okay. Yeah. Now this will give you minus 4 and plus 4 is gone. We have minus 8 plus 2 root 2 plus root 2 gives you plus 3 root 2. Right? So you have a remainder value which is not 0. That is p of a is not equal to 0. Therefore, what do we conclude? As per by factor theorem, p of a is not equal to 0. Therefore, by factor theorem, we can say that x plus 2 is not a factor of p of x. Here p of x value, that's why we have written in the beginning itself. There's another problem. Find the value of k if x minus 1 is a factor of x square plus x plus k. What does the second part of the theorem says? P of a is equal to 0 if x minus a is a factor. So we know that what is the condition here? X minus 1 is already a factor they have mentioned. That is, if x minus a is a factor, then P of a will be 0, right? So from x minus 1 is a factor. X minus 1 is already a factor they have given. What is the value of a here? X. This is equated to, this you always remember, it is equated to x minus a, not x plus a, x minus a. Therefore, this will give you the value of a, which is 1. Okay. If x minus 1 is a factor of this polynomial, then P of a will be 0 by factor theorem. Therefore, by P of a is equal to 0 by factor theorem. So write this. This is equal to P of x. Okay. And now P of a is equal to 0 by factor theorem. Now we will equate this. X square, we have the value a as 1. X square plus P of 1. What is P of 1? 1 square plus 1 plus k. What is that equal to? Is equal to 0. So 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus k is equal to 0. And k, you bring this 2 on the right hand side, which will give you the value of k. Therefore, k is equal to minus 2. So these type of problems are very simple. We will again apply the second part of the factor theorem. That is, they have already given this polynomial, that is this linear polynomial is a factor. So if it is a factor, then P of a is 0. Get the value of a. First step is to get the value of a. That is, x minus 1 will be equated to x minus a. So it's very simple to get the value of a. Take the value of P of a. Substitute that value in the polynomial. And we equate that to 0. Why do we equate that to 0? Is by factor theorem. Okay. So we have learned in the previous classes or in the earlier classes that how to factorize polynomials. There were 3 methods: expanding the middle term, right? So this is one of the methods we are going to factorize, and we are also going to use factor theorem how to factorize the polynomials. Today, in this session we will learn how to, we will just recall what was learned in the previous class. That is 12x square minus 7x plus 1. So this is the polynomial given. How do we factorize? How do we get the factors? We will take 12 into 1, 12, and we take the factors for 12 in such a way that, right, this is a product, 12 into 1, right, 12. So we take the factors in such a way that when you add or subtract, you should get the middle term. And here middle term is, we just check the coefficients, not the variables. So here it is minus 7. 12 can be, how do we get minus 7 with the factors of 12? 4 and 3 is a factor. What are the factors of 12, by the way? It is 4 and 3. And there is 12 and 1 is also a factor. And 6 and 2 is also a factor. But we cannot use 6 and 2 because the middle term has a coefficient minus 7. So we will take 4 and 3 in such a way that minus 4 and minus 3. When you add minus 4 and minus 3, you get minus 7. So we will take this set of factor. That is, we will expand the middle term minus 7x as minus 4x minus 3x. And it is not affected now. We will get back this expression, right? So this minus 7x is expanded in this way, minus 4x minus 3x plus 1. We will retain the constant part. Now we will group it. This we have done in the earlier classes. We will just recall it here. Okay. So when we group, what is common here? 4x is common. 4x is common here, which leaves you, it is x square. Okay. 4x is common. 3x minus 1. 3x, 4 into 3, 12. and x into x is 12x square, plus into minus minus 4x. Then here we will again take 1 as nothing is common here. We will take 1 as common and it leaves you 3x minus 1. So now again in this expression 3x minus 1 is common and we are left with 4x minus 1. Okay, so these are the factors. Factors are nothing but what I have mentioned. In the earlier classes I have told what is factors. It's nothing but product. Product of, what are these? Product of polynomials. Right? So when you multiply this, you will get back this expression. So we are going to find out the factors. So what are the factors of 12 when we say 6 and 2? When we multiply, 6 is one factor, 2 is one factor. When you multiply 6 into 2, you will get back this. Similarly, this is for numericals. This is for polynomials. When you multiply these two, you will get back 12x square minus 7x plus 1. So this is how you need to get the factor. This is one of the method, that is expanding the middle term. So we will solve another problem. 3x square minus x minus 4. This is 3x square. Minus x minus 4. Here, how do we get the factors? 4 into 3, 12. Right? What are the factors of 12? 4 and 3. And then there are another factor 6 and 2. And then one more you have 12 and 1. Right? Which one we are going to take here? See here, when you take a factor, when you add or subtract those factors, you should get minus 1. Right? So we will take 4 and 3. Because when you subtract 4 minus 1, you get 1. So we will take 4 and 3. But we need to check with the sign. When you multiply, you should get minus. And see here, minus 4 into 3, it is minus 12. So it is minus 12. And when you subtract minus 4 plus 1, it is minus 1. Therefore, our factors are going to be minus 4 and plus 3. So now expand the middle term. 3x square minus, see here I can take minus 4x and then plus 3. Right? Here when we take minus 4x first and then minus 3x, what happens? We cannot take any common factor. So I'll place this minus 3x this side and 4x on the other side. Okay? Minus 3 plus 3x and minus 4x and retain this minus 4 constant part here. Okay, now we will group. What is common here? 3x is common. Right? Which leaves x plus 1. Right? Within the brackets, and then in this, what is common? Minus 4 is common. Which leaves us x plus 1 within the brackets. Now again x plus 1 is common and we are left with 3x minus 4. Right? This part. So these are the factors of this polynomial. That is when we take the product of this, you will get 3x square minus 4x minus 4. We can verify that. If you multiply this, take each term and multiply, you will get back this polynomial. So in this session we have seen the remainder theorem, factor theorem and factorization using expansion method. We will see how to factorize using factor theorem in the next session, and we will apply the identities to factorize in the next session. Thank you, children.